it.
We're 1-0. We're in a 6-game season to this point. We're 1-0. I'm going to leave it at that. Leave it at that. All right, break it down, baby. Break it down.
Big week this week, fellas. We got the Minnesota Vikings coming into town for a Week 14 matchup. This will be a rematch from Week 3 where we lost a painstaking 28-24 loss in Minnesota. Things are a little bit different this go-around. Personnel's a little bit different. Our scheme's a little bit different. Hock's looking for revenge. We're looking for payback. How's this game going to go? Minnesota's a paper tiger.
Welcome to Detroit.
Alright, hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. As you guys know, I'm Hat and Beard. Before we get too far down the line, go ahead and do me a favor and hit like on this video and go ahead and click subscribe on the channel. Go ahead and ring the bell so that you never miss out on any future notifications. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the fun stuff. Alright guys, like I said in my intro, Minnesota, kind of a paper tiger, dude. Look, Week 3, we lost 28-24. That game was within our grasp, alright? There was two major factors, well, really three huge factors in that game that dictated the flow of it for us. Number one being our coaching staff was still making bad play calls, okay? It had the first 7 weeks of the season, Dan Campbell just couldn't figure it out, man. He kept getting in his own way. Look, he's shown growth. Dan Campbell and the boys have shown growth. I don't know if it has all to do with the Aubrey Pleasant firing, but that was a significant boost into how our coaching staff has started to dictate and call plays and handle their personnel. I think that the growth that we've seen over Dan Campbell the past few weeks here, especially the last 5 weeks where we've been able to go 4-1, I think you're going to see that that is going to be one of the major X factors in overcoming this game, because although Minnesota is talented, they're not as good as, say, we are. Because we go out and we've lost some one-possession games, but we've also put our foot on the throat of teams and just beat them into submission, i.e. just look at last week what we did to Jacksonville. Minnesota's won like 9 one-possession games, okay? They get pretty dang lucky. And it could be argued that they just got really lucky on our Week 3 matchup, because the other two factors into that game, other than our coaching staff making bad decisions, was we lost Tracy Walker for the season. He was actually having a pretty decent few weeks leading into that. He was also our play caller on defense, which meant we had to go with a rotationary mishmash between Kirby Joseph, who was not quite yet what he is now. He had to learn on the fly. And with that injury and us having to deploy a rotationary position with two guys who aren't necessarily the greatest, Juju Hughes was more of a special teams player, and Kirby Joseph was not who he is now, okay? He wasn't now. He's a lot better now than he was then. He got thrown into the fire. Kirk Cousins took advantage of that with the last-second touchdown to Osborne, right? Our defense, Week 3, couldn't stop the run to save their ass, right? Our defense has changed a lot over the past few weeks, and I don't think that Dalvin Cook, and also, if you recall Week 3, I was telling you guys that we needed to watch out for Alexander Mattison because he's a good 1-2 punch alongside Dalvin Cook. You can't take one out and expect the other to flounder. But we weren't stopping the run at all Week 3. And now we're actually coming out and we're bottling up the run game, and we're almost eliminating that from most offenses' repertoire. Can we do that against Dalvin Cook? I would like to say yes, because I think Aleem McNeil has been playing really good. Our front seven has actually been playing really, really well. We also need to talk about our offense's number one X factor, and that's the fact that J-Mo should see an uptick in usage. We seen him out on the field last week. He had one target. He was mostly a decoy, and we're going to see an increase in usage. Now, why am I hype about that? Because most teams, when they say they're going to see a snap count or limited usage, that player is held to a very limited role. But if we think about it, this season, we've seen DeAndre Swift play about 80% of the season in a limited role under a limited capacity. Big PP Ben Johnson has been able to scheme amazing play calls to, even though DeAndre Swift was limited and he was hurt and we were keeping him on a pitch count, he was still scoring touchdowns. So I think that Big PP Ben Johnson is going to scheme up 1 or 2 plays to get J-Mo a crack to maybe try and get him in the end zone to just kind of get him moving a little bit more, man. I'd like to see J-Mo come out and have one target a quarter. Get 4 targets throughout the whole game. Maybe have 2 or 3 catches for 40, 50 yards, and who knows, maybe even a touchdown. And like I said, Minnesota's won 9 of their games have been one possession games that come down right to the wire. They've been incredibly lucky. I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm just saying they've had a lot of things go their way. They're the team right now that the blown coverage against Detroit in Week 3 for a last-minute touchdown to win the game. They get a lot of tip passes where their guys are hustling to the ball, but they're able to recover them tip passes to advance. So they got a lot of like luck on their side, and it's bittersweet because I like Kirk Cousins, And I don't know, though, if their luck is going to be able to propel them over our fire, because our team is driven, dude. We're hungry. And Minnesota doesn't seem to have that drive, that hunger that we have. When you look around the teams in the NFC North, our team's the only one that, like, I mean, the Bears are kind of, like, angry at the way the season has gone, but they're not very competitive. They don't really have the weapons to compete. They got Justin Fields, who is a very, very hyper-talented athlete and terrifies the shit out of me to play him. Again, you guys know how I feel. I'm actually expecting us to be able to handle Minnesota, and the Bears game is the trap game that I'm worried about. We got a point to prove, dude. We're a bunch of people who, like, we were dejected. We were left for dead. No one wanted to talk about the Lions even after being on Hard Knocks. Man, we didn't even really get that much national coverage while we were on Hard Knocks, right? So we're the bastard stepchild of the entire NFL, let alone the NFC North. And we're out to prove a point, dude. And everybody's pissed, and everybody's bought into the Dan Campbell thing. And the benefit is that this game is at home, so I think we're really going to come out. We're just going to punch the Vikings right in the mouth. I'm also, before we get too far down the road, I need to just go ahead and say, look, man, TJ Hawkinson's going to have a big game, dude. He's going to have a big game. Our team's bad against tight ends, and it's a revenge game narrative. Expect him to have a touchdown. Expect him to probably have 100 yards. But TJ Hawkinson is not that good of a tight end in the grand scheme of things. Sure, he'll get his revenge on us, but you know what? We still didn't lose that trade because our offense has been better without TJ Hawkinson, and we got more draft picks. And as you guys know, I am very high on Brad Holmes having all of the draft capital. So let's talk about what we need to do offensively to win this game. It's not going to be any shocker, fellas. Rinse, repeat. We're going to go on this is going to be week 6 of doing the exact same thing that we've been doing, fellas. What I need you to do is play smart, sound, fundamental football, okay? We have the benefit of having a successful running back by committee. That sucks for fantasy players, I understand, but we're very lucky that we have Jay Willie, who, if he's floundering, we can play a completely different style of running back in DeAndre Swift, and there's no way that you can really bottle up both of those guys because they're so different in their running styles that if one isn't successful, the other one should have a benefit. So we have the benefit of a running back by committee. We also have the emergence of ASB becoming... I'm going to say it, guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 5 wide receiver in this league, and nobody's going to prove me wrong. And we need to lean on our strong offensive line. Look, if Jared Goff can have the same amount of time, and I don't think that's possible because last week was an anomaly, but if Jared Goff can sit back there and prepare a 5-course meal while entertaining Gordon Ramsay via Skype and then still complete passes, there's no reason why we can't win. So we need to lean on our offensive line to keep Goff upright because Jared Goff, I don't know if you guys know, Jared Goff's having a sneaky elite season. He's actually having a better season than he did when he took the Rams to the Super Bowl and was an MVP contender. We need to keep Jared Goff upright, and we also need to take some shots with J-Mo, okay? So the NFL ain't ready for J-Mo. And I have this, like, funny feeling that if J-Mo becomes a thing, you're going to see a rivalry develop between Jameson Williams and Justin Jefferson in the North. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch if it pans out to be this, like, incredibly competitive 2 elite wide receivers squaring off. You know, it should be a lot of fun if it works out. I'm really, really high on J-Mo, guys. I'm really high on J-Mo. Defensively, it's going to be a little bit different, all right? So we know that the Minnesota Vikings are very volatile, and they have a lot of weapons. This is nothing new to us. This is exactly what I said in Week 3. They're a volatile offense. You need to try and slow them down. Week 3, Jeff Brokuda came out and locked up Justin Jefferson. Can Week 14, Jeff Brokuda come out and lock up Justin Jefferson, who's been all-world, all-elite, everything wide receiver? I think he can. We're going to look at another rivalry that I think this could square up to. So you guys know how Mike Evans is really, really good, except for 2 games a year, when he plays Marshawn Lattimore, because for whatever reason, Marshawn Lattimore just shuts Mike Evans down. I think Jeff Brokuda can do that with Justin Jefferson. So I'm expecting Jeff Brokuda. I'm not hoping, I'm expecting Jeff Brokuda to lock up Justin Jefferson. And I'm expecting the Minnesota Vikings to have to beat us with all of their other weapons outside of Justin Jefferson, meaning they got to lean on the run game. What does that mean? That means that over the past 6 games, our defense has actually been able to stifle the run. If we can bottle up the run and we can eliminate Justin Jefferson, that means that the Minnesota Vikings are going to have to beat us with other receiving options. That means Hock is going to have to try and beat us. And when TJ Hawkinson is the guy you're relying on to beat teams, you're in a bad spot, okay? I'm just telling you, as a Lions fan, if you're relying on TJ Hawkinson to be that dude, he ain't that dude. You know what I mean, dude? Can our pass rush continue their ascent into an elite level pass rush and make Kirk Cousins' day miserable? Over the past 6 weeks, we've seen Aiden Hutchinson being able to figure out. We've seen the emergence of James Houston. I don't know if you guys know, catch my short on that. I'm a big fan of James Houston. Can we get in the face of Kirk Cousins and make his day miserable? Make him make a couple ill-advised passes. Let Kirby Joseph sit in the secondary and hunt down those ill-advised passes and create some turnovers. I think our defense is ascending at the right time, and we have all the pieces in place. AG's figured it out, and we have a hyper-talented pass rush. We're also bringing back some players. We might see Romeo come out and play a little bit, which is just another boon to our defense that is already ascending right now. Yes, we need to worry about our tight end coverage. Yes, we need to absolutely expect Jeff Brokuda to shut down Justin Jefferson. But I think that when you couple that with where our rookies were that were playing week 3 versus how they're playing week 14, our rookie growth is going to be one of the major impacts in this game, okay? You're seeing Rodrigo, Hutch, James Houston, Kirby Joseph, all becoming good players, all now knowing where they need to be and how they need to play the game to disrupt the flow of the game. Aiden Hutchinson, Defensive Rookie of the Month for the month of November. Kirby Joseph, Defensive Rookie of the Week in November against the Packers, okay? These players need to come out, and this is your time to shine, fellas. This is your time to shine. The lights are going to be on, the lights are going to be bright, which brings up the X factor of it. Not only do you guys need to be playing with your hair on fire, not only do you guys need to be playing smart, sound, fundamental football, creating turnovers, sacks, and takeaways, but we really need all 60,000 people. If we can sell out Ford Field can be an X factor. Ford Field can be an incredibly loud venue, okay? Ford Field can disrupt offensive game plans. I was there in like 06 or 07 for the Bears Monday night game, man. That place can be hopping, dude. So Ford Field needs to be the X factor that can give our rookies the energy to feed off of. Give our rookies the encouragement and the confidence to go out there and make these plays and finally go out and take this victory. Go out and take control of the destiny that is before you, okay? This game is just like every other game the past few weeks. It's very, very important. But now that we have to control our destiny, other teams are not going to do it for the Lions, okay? We're not going to get the breaks that we need. We have to do everything that is within our power to go out and grab the bull by the horns and get into the playoffs. In conclusion, what this really comes down to is Jared Goff needs to continue to play elite quarterback play, okay? He's having his best season since he took the Rams to the Super Bowl, okay? He was an MVP candidate that year, okay? So it can totally be done, all right? So Jared Goff needs to continue to play at the level that he's been playing. Our defense needs to continue their ascension into just this terrifying powerhouse monster of defense. Look, guys, I know it's the end of the video. I'm sure most of you didn't make it this long, but the first 6 weeks of the game, we were averaging giving up 30-plus points a game. In the past 5 weeks, we're only averaging giving up 19.8 points a game, while our offense is still averaging scoring 30 points a game. So if our defense can continue their average play, the bare minimum, the bare mean of what they play, their average play, and our offense can continue their average play, statistically on paper, we win. I'm pretty sure we're favorites, okay? We're favorites in this game because our whole team, top to bottom, coaching staff, players, personnel packages, special teams, everything, top to bottom, even the fucking trainers are doing everything right now. Everything's coming up Detroit, man. The Minnesota Vikings are good, but they're stagnant, man. And the Detroit Lions, we were really, really bad, but we are ascending, man. Call us a Saturn V rocket, dude, because we're blasting off into space, man. And we're absolutely tearing it up, man. So I really think that the momentum's on our side. Momentum, good coaching, high energy breaks luck every single time, man. It beats having a lucky break here or there. Yeah, luck can pull you out in a one-possession game. But if the Lions come out and they put their throat on the Minnesota Vikings for 4 quarters, like we did against Jacksonville, play 4 solid quarters of football, top to bottom, and just beat the fucking brakes off of the Vikings, dude, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't win 31-20. You hear that? 31-20. Lions are just going to mollywomp them, dude. 4 quarters of dominance. Let's go, fellas. Hey, I've been Hattenbeard. You've been an attentive audience. Fellas, have a great rest of your weekend. We'll catch you guys Monday in the review video. Go Lions. Let's go get this W. Peace.
Time to 23 Skidoo. Or should I say 69 Skidoo.